skip out early because he will be our final speaker for this year's Nova. So is it action-packed? Yep. Is it going to be usable and helpful information that you're receiving today? Yes. Will we be celebrating you? Yes. Are we officially kicking off 2022? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So let's get started. So many of you have met Lori Berger during our international convention in November of 2021. For those that heard Lori talk about the future of our brand, the ways David is continuing to invest back in the business, and how LifeWave is supercharging our online presence this year, I'm sure you haven't stopped buzzing. Lori, as our executive consultant, comes to LifeWave with over 30 years of experience and incredible expertise in online marketing, customer experience, and network marketing. We are incredibly blessed to have her leading the corporate team and truly stewarding our business partnership. I'm excited for you to all hear from her again today. Welcome, Lori Berger.
Hello, LifeWave family, and welcome to Nova and to 2022. I cannot believe it's actually already the end of January. I would love to start by seeing you light up that chat box, letting all of us here at corporate know how excited you are for this event, the year ahead, and where are you from? We love that we're a global company full of diversity, different ideas and beliefs, and we're all coming together with one common purpose, and that is to live longer and to live well. With the new year comes new beginnings and the opportunity to set intentions and goals. And today's content, we believe, is going to help you achieve some of this. Here at corporate, we have been really busy so far this year putting the actions in place that I spoke about at convention in Florida last year. We're going to spend a lot of time today giving you the tools and hopefully that inspiration that you and your teams need to set yourselves up for success this year, to truly shine. You're going to hear from so many inspirational speakers today, including our very brilliant leader, David Schmidt. But before I pass this time over to David to officially kick this event off, I want to look back at 2021, remember some of the highlights, and talk a little bit about why we were so successful. It was an outstanding year for LifeWave in 2021. It was a year full of change, but most importantly, it was a year of momentum. Are you ready for this? In 2021, you all enrolled and welcomed over 157,000 new people to our community. That is more and more families feeling the benefit of the powerful patch and health technology that David has blessed us with. We experienced a staggering 60% sales increase. And by the end of the year, we shattered all records. The highest sales month in company history, the highest sales day in company history, and probably my most favorite is the highest commission paid in the company history. And the reason why I love that so much is because not only are people starting to feel the benefits of the health technology that we have, but they're also feeling the financial wellness that this beautiful industry has to offer. In the month of December, we had more or equal to the number of advancements in all ranks than the entire year in 2019. This in itself, of course, is very impressive. But to further drive this home, the average number of senior presidential director rank advancements increased by 1,000% in December. I would say that is momentum. David recently asked his leadership team at corporate what momentum meant to them. And he asked us to actually ask that back out to all of you. And so today, because this is an interactive event, I want you to use that chat and I want you to drop a note letting me and the rest of us know what you believe momentum means to you. Have you talked about this as a team? How do you sustain momentum for the future? Because as the old saying goes, this is a marathon and not a sprint. So what are you and your teams doing to care for yourselves, your families, and each other this year? For me, simply put, momentum is about every activity that involves motion. It's an essential concept of physics, but it's also used in everyday life. Every moving body possesses momentum. I have been doing my best over the last year to become a trail runner. I live in Arizona, so that it's just a beautiful landscape to do so. And I try to run every day or as much as possible. And I run every day, so I have built a momentum for this. And if I didn't run with consistency, being the key word, or no exercise, then I have built a negative momentum that would make it even harder to get started. Momentum is the magic of network marketing. It is the holy grail, and it represents that important element which transforms individuals into leaders and builds teams that are an unstoppable force. Here's the interesting thing about leadership, network marketing, and momentum altogether. We create a reality by the level of belief that we have. And in turn, the level of belief we transfer to our team to create their belief. Today and throughout this year, we hope to give you the belief in us as your corporate team, your support team. And we will continue this year to focus harder than ever on an exceptional customer experience to each and every one of you. Focus on improving our website, your sales tools, communication platforms, shipping experience, and so much more that I spoke about at convention last year. And our hope that in return is that you will bring this belief to your teams, and we will just continue this incredible growth and that momentum. Because in a time when health, nutrition, and well-being is so important and needs to be a priority in every home, our products should be shared with as many people in this world as possible. Now, without further ado, I would like to officially kick things off and welcome our founder and CEO, David Schmidt.
Thank you, Emily and Lori, for opening up our NOVA conference. And it's certainly exciting to hear about everything that we accomplished as a global team in 2021 and how this is going to set us on a path to success in the year ahead. For my part, I would like to start out by thanking the incredible group of leaders and members that we have in our global community, because without all of you, none of this happens. Without you, we would never have any of the incredible product testimonials that we hear every day. The stories of how products like X39 are transforming lives and improving quality of life that only a few years ago would have seemed unimaginable. So it is with great thanks and appreciation that we congratulate you for the work that you have done in 2021 to bring our products to the world around us and set us up for another year of growth and prosperity as we continue to change people's mindsets as to what is possible in the world of health and wellness. Let's take a moment to consider where we are at this time and place in history. It has become common now for people in the natural healthcare industry and even mainstream scientists to be suppressed for opening scientific dialogue that may conflict with an agenda that governments, tech companies, and pharmaceutical companies want to promote. This leaves us in the place where, for most people, there is so much information noise that it is difficult to determine what they should do for their own health. Let's take a moment to establish a few facts that can help to guide us and support us in knowing how to make the best decisions for having optimum health. First, nature is never in conflict with itself. When we look to nature for answers, we seek a higher truth, because nature is the product of divine creation. In other words, if someone promotes a solution that violates the laws of nature, then we should question the validity of that recommendation. Do you remember at the beginning of the lockdowns when beaches were closed and we were told not to go outdoors? This was in clear violation of natural law, as we now know that being outdoors poses very little risk of viral transmission, and using the sun to elevate vitamin D and expose us to healthy visible and infrared light reduces the risk of viral infection and symptoms. So, in putting together a plan for optimal health, which is a goal I hope all of you have for the year ahead, let's look to God and nature for solutions, as we will be working in harmony with how our bodies were designed. Second, let's work with and establish in our lives the important foundations for our health that can often be neglected because we are so busy with family and often long work hours. For example, it is critically important we continue to evaluate our diet, exercise routines, sleep patterns, water intake, and supplementation. If we were not getting proper nutrition, then we will not have the building blocks that our body needs for making repairs and promoting and producing hormones. If we are not sleeping at least 7 hours per night, then we will have less than optimal hormone levels and will not be giving our body the time it needs for repair. While you have heard this before, this is the perfect time of year to evaluate whether or not the schedule you have for yourself is optimum, or is it time to make a few important changes? Finally, are you setting goals for yourself or leaving things to chance? If you were to start a new business, you would need a business plan if you wanted to reduce risks, understand the competition, and formulate a strategy that would allow you to market your product or service. Well, the same is true when it comes to your health. The exciting news is that by formulating a health plan, which includes healthy eating, regular exercise, rejuvenating sleep, hydration, supplementation where needed, and avoiding things that we know are not good for us, we allow technology like the patches to take us to a level of health that for most people would not be possible otherwise. So, with this in mind, let's take a look at the year ahead. And let's start this look into 2022 with opening up our minds to what is possible and what can we achieve when we put our minds and will into a project that is important to us. And let's face it, what could be more important than our health? When our health is at its best, we feel bulletproof, and we can take on challenges knowing that we are strong and we will come out of that challenge being just fine. Over the holiday break, I had a chance to go back and watch the movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. In short, this movie is about a woman named Lucy, played by Scarlett Johansson, who is given a new drug that gives her the ability to access parts of her brain that are normally inaccessible. Now, there's not going to be any spoilers here. It is a good science fiction movie, and I really enjoyed the combination of thought-provoking science fiction along with the action sequences. And after all, who doesn't like seeing Scarlett Johansson beating up on the bad guys? Well, there is a scene in this movie where the concept of time is discussed. It is stated that time is a bit of a paradox. If we were to take a picture of a busy street, we would only see a frozen image. Cars would be on the street but would not be moving. People might be walking across the street, but again, we would only see that specific moment in time, which would be devoid of any movement. So we could only guess as to what happens in the moments following the picture. If we speed up time, we run into a similar predicament. The image we look at becomes blurred, and if we speed up the image enough, we disappear from the image entirely. As Lucy states, time gives proof to the existence of matter. So, for human beings and the world around us, this creates a bit of a dilemma when it comes to aging and our health. We need the element of time, as without it, we can't exist. However, time is what is fighting against us and is in reality the principal cause of our aging, looking at that globally. So, in a sense, if we were to defeat the aging process, we need to change the way our body reacts to time. Now, this is beginning to sound a bit like science fiction, so let's turn this into a discussion we can all relate to and is grounded in reality. And the good news is that there are species in the world around us that have already been created with the ability to defy time as it relates to aging. And that's so exciting. Most of you attended the convention we had in November, and I had the opportunity to dig into this subject in a great deal of detail with you. When it comes to aging, we can marvel at the common lobster, who actually gets stronger as it ages and does not show any signs of aging at all. If the lobster can have these remarkable attributes, then what can we learn that will allow human beings to function in the same way? The great news is that we have taken a huge step in this direction with both X39 and X49. In the year ahead, you are going to be asked to commit to a program for the next 90 days and stay focused on eating healthy, getting regular exercise, designing optimum sleep, and using our patch technology to transform your body into a version you may not have seen in many years. Our clinical studies show that with X49, you can once again regain strength and stamina you lost to the passage of time. And you can once again have the body you want to have now. We cannot change time, as it will continue to be going on as an immutable force. However, by observing the laws of nature and learning from the world God has created, we can access information that will allow us to improve our health in dramatic ways and tap into the hidden secrets that will allow us to recapture our youth and have the best health possible. So the year ahead is entirely in your hands. You can take action now and commit, making this the year you regain your health and put it into your own hands where it belongs. In addition, in the process of transforming your health, you will become a shining example to those around you of what is possible, and your LifeWave business will thrive in the process. LifeWave grew by over 60% in sales in 2021 as compared to 2020. This year, we are on track to pass this by building up the markets we are already in, expanding the services we offer, and opening up new countries for distribution. If you are new to LifeWave, I truly hope you will embrace our mission to transform your life and the lives of those you come in contact with, and make this coming year the best one ever for your health and financial well-being.
Wow. I get more inspired each time I hear David speak. So many exciting things are in our immediate and long-term future. We are truly a part of changing the world. And as you heard Lori share, 2021 was an incredible year. So many of you and your team members shared the LifeWave technology and opportunity without abandon, and you utilized tried and true techniques to duplicate success. We could not be more excited for each of you. During our 2021 convention in November, we recognized many of you in person and virtually for your advancements and your exceptional contributions. For those of you that were part of the gala event, you will remember the beautiful energy and the pure joy that was present. It was an incredible event, truly. What a wonderful evening. We have a special treat for you today. In the fourth quarter of 2021, we had many new senior presidential directors. We are honestly still amazed by the intensity and the commitment towards growth that we saw in you and your teams. So today, we want to hear from as many of our SPDs, the newest SPDs from convention as possible. We asked them to share in their own words their best piece of advice. And if they were brand new to the business, what would they wish they had known at that time? Who doesn't want to hear from our most successful leaders and get the inside scoop? I think everyone wants to hear. So, helping me introduce the newest SPDs from each region are our regional sales leads, Manabu Takashima from Japan, Claudia Hartnick from Europe, and Dr. Edward Chu from Southeast Asia. We have such a strong corporate team that is focused on your success and is eager to celebrate you. I know you will all love hearing from each of these regional leaders and then from our senior presidential directors. So let's get started with North America. I can't wait to hear their words of wisdom. Let's roll it.
Hi everyone, I'm April Vaughn from Spartanburg, South Carolina, new Senior Presidential Director, and I was asked to share with you one thing I would have done when I started my business, and it would be to start immediately using the LifeWave InTouch app. I would download that to your phone so that you can start sharing videos, resources, using our training library. Also, you can log into your office. You can enroll distributors, preferred customers, retail customers. It allows you to do everything. It's your business at your fingertips, right on your phone. Thank you so much and enjoy Nova.
Hi, my name is Beamy Casey, and I'm a Senior Presidential Director from Atlanta, Georgia. When I started LifeWave almost 2 years ago, I have been in other network marketing companies, and so I kind of had an idea of what I thought to expect and what I would need to do. And what I have come to realize is that this is unlike any other opportunity that I've ever been in. The way the companies run, the caliber of the product, the magnitude of what it does in people's lives. Every product and company that I've been involved with in the past always brought benefits, of course, but nothing in my 40 plus years of being in alternative health have been as demonstrative and as exciting as what the X39 stem cell activation patch does. And understand that from the beginning, that strategy, action, and mindset based on the fantastic, incredible excitement that David has given us in this patch will create a company, will create a downline, create a team with the tools that we have, unlike anything else, and breaking through that thinking of what I thought I knew and what this really is about has really been a game changer. And I would say for anybody that's getting started, look at what we have. It's not like anything else. The comp plan is different. The management is different. The culture of the community is different. And our product is untouchable. And in network marketing, I've never been in a company that has an exclusive patented product. And that is like the golden goose and the golden egg. Thank you very much. Woohoo!
Hi, I am Geraldine Johnson, Senior Presidential Director with LifeWave, currently in Deer Valley. I was introduced to LifeWave a little over 2 years ago, and it has truly changed my life. I love the patches and I love the opportunity. Thank you, Peter, Marcy, Onyx, and all the leaders of the company. Wishing all of you a very, very successful 2022 with LifeWave.
Aloha, my name is Kathleen Nichols and I am originally Alaskan, born and raised 30 years, North Pole, Alaska, then a little stint in Southern California, and I currently live on the magical island of Maui, Hawaii. I'm a Senior Presidential Director, clear back from November, and what I'd really say is, this is relatively my only network marketing company, and so you can imagine how thrilled and excited I am. So what would have I told myself 2 years ago? I would have said, you know what, welcome home, relax, open your heart, and share. You're in the right time, the right place. And then I would really take a big breath and I would say, it's not about me. And when I realized it wasn't about me, it was about the person that I was going to help have a better quality of life, so much freedom, so much relief, and so much divine detachment when you realize it's not about you. So look that fear right in the eyes and just share, share, share. Thank you. Aloha.
We are Bob and Renate Ledberg. I'm originally from Germany, but now live on the west coast of the United States. If there was one thing I could have told myself when we first got started with LifeWave, was to know right away that we are with the best company possible because of David Schmidt's visionary leadership. David is a man who will always take us where science leads him, and he will simply never quit. We are now here to support David in his vision and mission to make this world a better place, and are so excited that we found a home where we can stay for many years to come.
Hello, my name is Larry Yang. I come from Vietnam, and I'm very proud to be a U.S. citizen and serve as a state guard with the U.S. Army. I'm a senior presidential director, and I'm beyond grateful to be part of this amazing company that has a product truly help people to better their health, and in many cases, saving their life. I was one of them. 9 years ago, I got into a motorcycle accident that left me with internal bleeding, colon puncture, and ruptured my spleen. If not because of the immediate application of the patches that bought me some time before I received any medical attention, I would not be here today. Since then, I devote myself to follow the mission of LifeWave Company, helping people feeling better, look younger, and live a joyful life, and especially with an opportunity of making money while helping people. There's nothing like this available anywhere in the world, only through LifeWave.
Hello, my name is Sean Zook. I live in Homer, Alaska, in the country, in the woods. It's a pretty sweet place. I started LifeWave about 2 years ago, and I am now a senior presidential director, which is top rank, and it's pretty amazing. I'm kind of baffled at how I got here, but pretty much just falling in love with the product and started sharing it with my friends and family and beyond. And the next thing I know, I got to quit my oil field job, which was incredible. And now here I am sharing it with other people. If I could go back to that day when I first got my distributor kit, and I could tell myself anything, I would say, Sean, walk through your fears. Stay in a place of grace and don't stop believing. Keep that faith alive in your heart because this is real. This is real.
Hi, LifeWave family. My name is Dr. Chu, the Regional Director for Southeast Asia. I'm happy to be part of this session, which is 2021 Rank Up. Since November convention, we have challenged ourselves to achieve certain goals. Many of you guys has fought and worked hard and able to deliver those goals. One of the things that we like to recognize, especially recognize today, is the new Senior Presidential Director. As we know, SPD is the elite group and the highest rank in LifeWave. In the past 2 months, Southeast Asia region has produced 9 new SPD. We are also lucky today that some of them have recorded and will share the secret of success. Enjoy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jing Long from Malaysia. That one very important thing that I will tell myself is to focus on one business only. At the beginning of my LifeWave career, I was still running my fertilizer company. And I'm thinking that I want to develop two businesses together because both sides of the business can complement one another. You need great health, you need great food from good agriculture. But after few months, I have seen no result from both businesses. Then I make a decision after seeing all the incredible result from my LifeWave customer. Then I tell myself I'm going to stop fertilizer business to go full on in LifeWave, and that is the time where I make lots of money. So if you are still in that kind of mood, I want to develop a few businesses together, they can correlate one another, forget that. Focus on LifeWave. This is the future.
Hi, I'm Dennis Morales, SPD from the Philippines. If I could tell myself one thing when I got started, it will be, you're just one decision away from a totally different life. So go all in and be willing to do whatever it takes, because financial freedom is real with LifeWave.
Hello， 大家好，我是格蕾斯婉芝，来自台湾，从事医疗保健工作。我加入LifeWave快14年了。 我会坚持在莱威，真的是因为贴片太棒了。除了助人远离药物之外，几乎可以从头到脚说健康，还能做到冻龄逆龄，战胜医学。因为贴片，所以呢，身边的朋友都不相信我快70岁了。这次呢，能够顺利的上资深总裁，是因为我的组织伙伴们对莱威产品的热爱与忠诚。产品独特，无可替代，努力可以累积，就是最棒的事业。我会继续努力的，来帮助更多的人们活得好，活得久，活得富足。
嗨，大家好，我是杜嘉玲，我来自台湾，我是经络教学老师。我从2008年加入莱威，开始使用贴片。我发现贴片让我更有体力和活力，所以我开始分享给我的学生跟客人，改善他们的健康，提升活力。加入团队后，让我的业绩更棒。感谢系统跟团队，谢谢。
Hello everyone, my name is Rose Rong. I'm from Taiwan. I'd like to thank you, David Smith, for an opportunity to meet you here. 多么感恩在众多的健康产业中遇见莱威，感谢推荐人的介绍。一开始就被发明人的初衷，让人类可以远离药物的伤害，可以活得久，活得好，活得更健康所触动。更幸运的是在 Kevin、Lisa、丽珊、Nancy 精心设计的系统团队中，一起为同一个目标，大家携手前进。感谢所有的团队伙伴，更感谢 Sophia 带领的行政团队提供各方面的运作。LifeWave is amazing grace. Thank you, Lord, for everything He gives me, and God bless you all.
各位莱威的家人，大家好，我是肖林瑜，我来自台湾。莱威贴片帮助我的家人身体恢复健康，使我的家庭重获幸福，让我非常的感动。怀着感恩的心，我邀请了一群志同道合的朋友，一起启动慈悲的讯号，开始分享莱威事业，让更多的朋友远离药物的伤害，重获健康。感谢大卫先生发明贴片，创立莱威公司，让我们获得健康，也获得财富。希望有更多的人能够加入莱威大家庭。我爱莱威，谢谢大家。
Hello， 莱威的精英伙伴们，大家好，我叫徐天恩，我来自台湾。自从2014年起，我接触莱威到现在已经将近8年的时间了。起初只是为了要帮助自己的家人重获健康，所以使用贴片。然后在发现了贴片的神奇的效果之后，我开始推荐给身边的朋友使用。非常感谢 David 能够创造这样的平台，让我能够有能力帮助很多人，也能够帮助到自己赚到钱。在这一次的晋升奖励活动呢，非常感谢我优秀伙伴们的努力，让我能够顺利晋升资深总裁，并且赚得丰厚的奖励。那也预祝各位能够在莱威创造人生的高峰，收获满满。谢谢大家。
Hello everyone, I'm come from Taiwan. My name is Yi Zhen Guo. 大家好，我是来自台湾的郭怡珍，很高兴我在2020年6月份的时候呢，接触到了莱威贴片。那也因为了莱威贴片呢，改善了我母亲膝盖不舒服的状况，还有我自己呢的皮肤状况也是越来越好。大家知道吗？我已经47岁咯。那因为这样的商品呢，是不用吃喝涂抹，只要贴在身上的光波贴片，真的是帮助了很多人。那也非常感谢我们的团队，凯哥、陈勋姐、丽珊之总，还有嘉华姐的帮助，还有我们整个团队的运作之下呢，我在2021年的12月份晋升为资深总裁。我真的非常喜欢我们创办人的理念，让人类远离药物的伤害，也希望大家呢可以一起推广这么棒的商品到全世界去哦。谢谢大家。
Hello, LifeWave team. My name is Claudia Hartenek, and I'm the Vice President of European Sales. I am so thrilled to be presenting this part here today. because this is about the success of our distributors, and in my case, of the European distributors. Europe has had an amazing run since convention last November. I am so proud of the many rank advancement in the region. And today, it is my honor to present the new senior presidential directors since convention. You do not achieve the highest rank at LifeWave alone. This is about a team working together, about leadership and hard work. So congratulations to our 11 new senior presidential directors in Europe. I am so happy that some of them have agreed on sharing a message of success with all of you. So let's hear it from the new presidential directors in Europe. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Alexandra, Senior Presidential Director from Romania. I would just tell myself to do it because it pays out every second, and it pays out in friends around the world and in what is more important, your future and your health.
Hi, I am Nana Sachs from Copenhagen, Denmark. If I should tell myself one thing when I first started in LifeWave 10 years ago, it would be believe in yourself, be consistent, work hard, and then things will happen. That's all from me. Thank you. Bye.
Ciao, sono Giacinto Di Paolo da Roma. Collaboro con la LifeWave dal 2008, ormai 14 anni. Ho apprezzato subito questi prodotti ricevendone grande beneficio personale. Ho 65 anni, ma vivo come un ragazzo di 30 con un'energia incredibile, mentre il mio percorso lavorativo si è intensificato proprio nel periodo di crisi, quindi negli ultimi anni, e devo dire che adesso svolgo questa attività a tempo pieno e mi ha permesso di raggiungere anche un benessere economico. Quindi se potessi tornare indietro nel 2008 e parlare con me stesso, gli direi quello che dico continuamente ai miei collaboratori: apprezzate questi prodotti, questi cerotti, sì, ma prendete seriamente questa attività, perché questa attività veramente ci può dare tantissimo, ci può migliorare la qualità della vita a noi e alle persone che incontriamo. Per far questo formatevi, perché se sapete come fare diventa tutto più facile. Un grazie di cuore alla LifeWave e a David Smith.
Buongiorno a tutti ragazzi, sono Tommaso Di Bello, 73 anni, da Roma, Italia. Collaboro con questa grande società fantastica dal 2009, ma l'ho presa sempre alla leggera. È quello che consiglio di fare veloce, non perde tempo, che io solo nel 2021 l'ho presa veramente con serietà e sto raggiungendo grossi vantaggi economici e personali. E poi volevo ringraziare David Smith e il mio sponsor Giacinto Di Paolo e congratulazioni e ringraziare tutta la mia squadra, tutte persone speciali. Arrivederci, buona giornata a tutti.
Mein Name ist Michelle Siegmund, ich komme aus Darmstadt in Deutschland. Mich hat vor allen Dingen beeindruckt und fasziniert, mit einem Produkt, einer Technologie zu arbeiten, die in Lichtgeschwindigkeit körpereigene Prozesse einleitet und verändern kann, so dass meine Zellen in einen jüngeren und gesünderen Zustand zurückversetzt werden können. Ich danke außerdem LifeWave und vor allen Dingen David, dass ich hier eine Möglichkeit habe, Menschen gesundheitlich und monetär zu unterstützen, ihr Leben zu verändern.
Hello, LifeWave families. My name is Manabu, country manager in Japan. At first, I want to say congratulations, all of you. And I want to say thank you for Japanese leaders. Japanese leaders work so hard and they are having a lot of seminars in the month. After that, from November to January, Japan had 11 new senior presidential directors. We're really proud of that and we want to say thank you and congratulations. That's all you make it and you as heroes. So We always go with you, and that is our happiness. Congratulations, and let's make it happen in 2022.
皆さんこんにちは。日本の佐藤不一と申します。ライフウェーブを始めたきっかけは、以前から、ネットワークをいろいろやってきまして、そのつながりから情報をいただきました。今までのネットワークビジネスは、本当にネットワーク貧乏というような感じで、全部がマイナスで終わってました。それがですね、今回ライフウェーブに携わることができて、今までのネットワークと同じような行動をしてきたのですが、このように最高タイトルをいただくことができました。まさに製品力だと思っています。私でもこのように最高タイトルを取ることができたので、皆さんが誰でもなれると思いますし、本当にチャンスだと思っています。これからはですね、私のダウンさんの中から同じ、最高タイトル取るような人をたくさん、出していきたいと思いますので、自分もそのサポートをしていきたいと思います。世界中がライフウェーブで盛り上がるように、私も行動していきますので、皆さんも一緒に頑張りましょう。よろしくお願いします。
皆さんこんにちは。野村俊成と言います。日本の鹿児島という町で美容室を経営しながらライフウェーブの活動をしています。僕がライフウェーブを始めたのは、美容室のお客様方にいつまでも若く健康でいてもらいたいと思ったからです。そしてこれからは同業者をはじめいろんな方にもっともっと伝えていきたいと思っています。よろしくお願いします。
世界中の皆様、こんにちは。ローラです。この素晴らしい関西ボパッチを日々愛と感謝の気持ちを持って皆様にお伝えしております。これからもますます健康で元気で世界中の人にお伝えしていきたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
鈴木康子です。日本で活動しています。私は岩瀬さんに2019年4月15日ライフウェーブパッチを貼っていただきました。健康上普通に生活をすることができませんでしたが、X サンキューパッチを貼り続けた結果、普通に歩いたり走ったりすることができるようになりました。パッチがない人生など考えられません。辛い日々でしたが、デビッド社長に感謝、本当に感謝です。SPD、岩瀬道恵さんには本当に感謝です。一人一人のメンバーさん、SPD の皆様、感謝でいっぱいです。SPD に上がらせていただき、私みたいな障害を持っている人でも必ず諦めなければライフウェーブで人生を変えられると思います。メンバーさん大事にし、一人一人タイトルアップのお手伝いをさせていただきたいと思います。皆様本当にありがとうございました。
Hi, David. I'm Keiko Hoshina, became Senior Presidential Director.I respect you so much. こんにちは。私は娘の肌トラブルを改善してあげたくて、このライフウェーブに携わりました。私から伝えた夫が一足先に SPD になり、私から伝えた息子が精力的にセミナーを開催したり、私は美容部門でセミナーを開催したりと、今ではファミリーでこのライフウェーブビジネスを生きがいとして頑張っています。よろしくお願いいたします。
千葉真也です。日本です。もともとはですね、施設者をしてまして、サロンを自分で運営してたんですね。一昨年、コロナの影響で、やっぱり仕事がですね、ダメになっちゃったんですね。その時にご縁をいただいたっていう形になるんですが、ただですね、もともとこれをですね、仕事にするつもりはなかったんですよ。でもどっかですね、この業界に、偏見があったり、ブロックがあったんですね。ただ、自分の中のこの先ですね、年を重ねるごとに、やっぱりね、新しいことをやっぱりね、やっていかなきゃっていう部分で、知る努力ですね、セミナーに足を運んで、 こちらの本当に製品がね、唯一無二だっていう部分と、あと自信確信ですよね。あとは活動していく中でのこのマーケティングのプランですね。これが本当みんながウィンウィンでですね、みんなで楽しくお仕事ができるっていうのを理解したっていう形。それがね、今の結果、つながりになってるんじゃないかなって思ってます。
内田俊彦と申します。東京在住です。私がこのライフウェブを始めたきっかけですが、現在、2社の会社を経営しております。2社ともイベントの運営管理業という業務上ですね、どうしてもこの今回のこのコロナという影響が非常に大きくて、売り上げがダウンした時に親友と一緒にね、このライフウェブの話を聞くことになります。調べてみますと、本当に世界初の発明品で競合他社のない商品です。そして仲間と共に成功できるこのプランに共感いたしまして、2020年12月に、このね、ライフウェブを仕事として本気で取り組もうと、決めました。今後はですね、本当にチームの皆様方に貢献できるよう頑張っていきたいと思いますので、これからもどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you again to our regional sales leads. Congrats to all of you who have advanced, and an extra special congratulations and thank you to our senior presidential directors for their achievements and for sharing with us today. Thank you for pouring into us and sharing all your insights. As a reminder, I encourage each of you to find ways to celebrate your own successes and the successes of those around you every day. Be part of filling that core human need. We can be catalysts for creating beautiful spaces where we all shine together. Now, let's welcome back our founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeWave technology to talk about the power of X39 and X49 working together. Mr. David Schmidt, take it away.
We've come to the time in our program now where we're going to talk about transforming your body with X49, and this is going to be a lot of fun, and I know that you're going to enjoy it. You know, we have done over 80 clinical studies over the past 20 years, and one of the most rewarding things about doing these clinical studies is being able to see people transform their health in a very short period of time, and X49 was certainly no exception. So let's talk about this in more detail and give you the specifics that you're going to need to transform your body and get into the best shape of your life with X49. First thing that we want to do is talk about providing you with an overall comprehensive plan for success. So we don't want to leave anything up to chance. This is going to be a plan, and I would encourage you to write out every detail, and we're going to provide examples through this presentation. But I want you to write out every detail so you are planning out your day and you're going to know exactly what you're going to do and when. Now, these details are going to include covering things like diet and nutrition, exercise, and of course, how you use the patches. I am not a medical doctor, and so you should consult with your own healthcare practitioner if you have specific needs. And you shouldn't be starting a diet or health program unless you are consulting with a healthcare practitioner first. So please get that advice because everyone is different and your needs are certainly going to be your own. Let's go ahead and talk about a little bit more about this plan. What would be the overview? Well, we want to cover everything. First, we want to talk about building an eating plan that works for you. Again, you will customize this for your own specific needs, but we're going to be talking about some principles that can lead you to success. Now, I also want to emphasize that during the X49 clinical studies, when we were looking at individuals, some of them over the age of 70, that made significant gains in strength, stamina, and muscle, while also reducing body fat, we're not using any type of special diet or nutrition plan. So keep that in mind. The whole purpose of covering the subject of diet and nutrition is to give you the best chance for success. We're also going to get into some details on constructing an exercise program. There are many of you here that may not have exercised in some time, and we want to cover about how should you go about getting started so you can reduce the risk of injury and give yourself the best chance of success. And there's some of you maybe that exercise is a regular part of your life. Congratulations. And you may decide that you just want to go ahead and continue doing what you're doing now, and that's totally great. The whole point is that we want to have exercise as a part of this program. If you're looking to reshape your body, there's just no way to get around it. You're going to have to exercise, but I've got great news for you. It can be really enjoyable and, of course, really rewarding. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about which patches you're going to be using in addition to X39 and X49. Some of you may be dealing with some acute or chronic pain or be in the process of detoxing. So we're going to cover patch usage as well. I'm also going to take a moment to recommend a list of supplements. This is purely optional, but some of you may want to really turbocharge your results and optimize the results that you get. So we'll cover what some basic, inexpensive supplements might be for this purpose. There's also going to be some additional success tips along the way, and then we're going to summarize everything and put everything together in a plan so that when we're done, you know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Let's talk about the eating plan. And first, since we're all different and people are going to be different ages, different health conditions, please consult with a nutritionist or a healthcare practitioner first so that you make sure that what you're doing fits the needs for you in your particular circumstances. Men and women are going to have different needs. There's different age groups which have different types of dietary requirements. And so this information is going to be extremely generalized to help point you in a direction. So I would really encourage you to work with your healthcare practitioner or a nutritionist in this regard. Now, let's talk about men first. And we want to talk about how we can alter diet so we can optimize hormones. And it's been consistently shown that low carbohydrate diets combined with intermittent fasting yields extraordinary results in terms of reshaping the body. Again, this is something that you don't have to do, as we found even just using X49 and exercising did result in improvements in muscle and decreases in body fat. But the more that we can optimize diet, what you're eating, the better the results. So let's look at a simple way that we can think about this. How are your hormones changing in response to when you are or are not eating? Well, when you are not eating, your growth hormone and testosterone levels are increasing. This is a survival mechanism. When you are eating, your insulin levels are increasing. So this is important to keep in mind because when our growth hormone and testosterone levels are going up, we're burning fat and metabolizing fat for energy. On the other hand, when we're consuming food, our insulin levels increase, and it's completely understandable why, because insulin is going to regulate our blood sugar. However, this translates into storage of body fat. So we want to be able to optimize this phenomena. So what can we do? Well, first, the results are obvious. When you're not eating, you're burning fat for fuel, and your body's going to be leaner and stronger. When you are eating, you're shutting down your levels of human growth hormone and testosterone, and instead you're increasing your insulin and you're storing fat, right? So that's the message here. So what can we do? How can we structure our eating so that we can keep our beneficial hormones like growth hormone and testosterone elevated? Well, we would start with a program of intermittent fasting as a tool to manage blood sugar and keep our growth hormone and testosterone elevated. There are many different ways of practicing intermittent fasting, so that's probably great news because you have tremendous amount of flexibility as to how you can incorporate this into your own lifestyle. I've been practicing intermittent fasting for the last 5 years. I love it. I'd recommend it to anybody, and it has enormous health benefits. The method that I use is to consume all of my food within a 5-hour to 8-hour eating window, and then the remainder of the time consume water, black coffee, tea, or a drink that has a sweetener such as stevia. In other words, something that doesn't have any calories. One example is that you could begin your eating window at 11 a.m. and then finish eating at 7 p.m. And we're going to go through some examples of what you eat, when, and why. But the basic idea behind this is that we want to optimize the amount of time that we're spending not eating so we can keep our growth hormone and testosterone levels elevated, and then condense the window of time that we are eating so we can reduce the insulin response and have more stable blood sugars, which is going to end up being one of the benefits. There are many, many benefits to intermittent fasting, and reducing the risk of diseases like diabetes is one of them for that reason. Now, this also brings up the question, if you're going to eat within an 8-hour window, what foods should you be eating and why? Well, again, here is where I would recommend using a low carbohydrate diet. What's great about this is that when you're primarily consuming proteins and healthy fats, these are going to suppress your appetite. They're very satiating, so you're not going to be hungry. And there's a lot of strategies for dealing with that. But basically, consume foods that are high in protein, high in healthy fats. Don't be afraid of saturated fats like butter and cream. You need those as precursors to making cholesterol and making hormones for men like testosterone. And by reducing your carbs, you're not going to get those blood sugar swings. You're also going to be providing your body with all of the raw materials that you need for building muscle and reducing your body fat. Now, there's an advanced form of intermittent fasting, and I'd never recommend anything that I didn't use myself. I periodically go into 5-hour eating windows. I wouldn't recommend, if you're new to this, that you start with it. As a matter of fact, I'd recommend that if you're used to eating, let's say, over a 12-hour period of time, gradually, week by week, you shorten it. So maybe the first week you go eat within an 11-hour window, then the following week within a 10-hour window, week after that, 9 hours, and then 8 hours. That way you're giving your body the opportunity to adjust. Some of you may want to start out because you're excited about getting the fastest results possible and go into an 8-hour window. And then there's some of you that will really want to go into an advanced stage after you've done this for a while and go into a 5-hour eating window, meaning that you might start eating at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and finish by, let's say, 6 o'clock. There is an excellent book on this subject by Ori Hofmeckler called The Warrior Diet. I would highly recommend it. It will provide many more details, but that's the general concept. Now, here on the screen, we're going to show an idea of a schedule. This is just for the sake of example to help get you started. Again, I'd recommend you work with a nutritionist so you can customize this for yourself. Some of you may be working in the evening, and this might not be ideal. So again, this is just an idea to put you in a ballpark. Even though you are practicing intermittent fasting, you won't be starving yourself. In other words, once your body gets adjusted to this style of eating, you're going to find that you have a tremendous amount of energy. And actually, during the periods of time when you're not eating, your performance levels are fantastic. I can think of many times when I went into a gym in the afternoon in a fasted state and had amazing workouts. So you should not be hungry during these times, and there's ways to manage this. First, I definitely recommend starting off the morning consuming at least half a liter of water. This gives your body an opportunity to detoxify, get the energy production process going, and it's been consistently shown in clinical research that when you start the day with half a liter to even a liter of water, this by itself will cause a loss of body fat. So how about that? Drinking water each morning and starting your day is a method to reduce body fat. Now, but also recommend either green tea or black coffee with no sweetener, unless it's stevia, no cream or sugar, anything like that. You can't have any calories during this window. Green tea certainly has healthy antioxidants. That's one reason to use it. It does have some caffeine in it. But one thing about coffee, and let's say you're going to use decaf coffee, it does tend to suppress the appetite. So, for example, if you're going into the more advanced eating within only a 5-hour window, you may find that at that 11 a.m. point, if you have a cup of decaf or regular coffee, that will tend to suppress your appetite and carry you quite nicely up until you do start eating at 1 o'clock. Again, that's something that's worked for me really well. So in this example, in the basic example, you start eating at 11 a.m. and it's preferably a high protein meal. It could be something like salmon, tuna, chicken. I hope avocados will become your friend. They're very, very rich in monounsaturated fats, and as a result, they will be anti-inflammatory. So another one would be olives, and especially make sure you're getting real extra virgin organic olive oil, highly anti-inflammatory, and many studies have shown that olive oil is the reason why the Mediterranean diet works and in fact helps to extend lifespan. It'd be great to take a high protein snack like macadamia nuts, which are rich in monounsaturated fats, cashews, something like that in the afternoon, and then have your dinner after that. I tend to exercise twice a day. We're going to talk about exercise in just a moment. I like to do a small amount of exercise when I wake up in the morning and then do my resistance training in the afternoon. Everyone's going to be a little bit different here. Again, this is just for the sake of example. Now, I do want to make one quick comment since we're talking about diet, and we'll cover this later in exercise. Did you know that you can use coffee to build muscle? Many of you that are drinking coffee might say, well, David, I drink coffee all the time and I'm not rippling with muscles. How come? Well, there's a very strategic way that you would use coffee for building lean muscle. Most people don't know about this, but coffee can be anabolic or muscle building under the right circumstances. Coffee or caffeine is often used as a pre-workout because it gives people energy. Okay, we know all of this. Now, the caffeine is going to create a metabolic stress, and as a result, this can help to facilitate breakdown of muscle tissue. So if you're consuming coffee only prior to exercise, it's going to contribute to the process of breaking down or causing damage to muscle tissue so that later on you can go and repair. post-workout. So the trick here is have your caffeine or coffee, if you so choose, before exercise, but not after exercise. Drinking coffee or having caffeine post-exercise is going to interfere with the process of anabolic metabolism, building up muscle tissue. So only have it, if you can, within that window. Now, we spent some time talking about men. Let's go ahead and speak about women and what would be a suitable eating plan. Again, when we talk about the subject of intermittent fasting, it's applicable to women. However, women do not respond the same hormonally to intermittent fasting, same way that men do. So for women, you can still use a 16-8 strategy. In other words, eating within a 8-hour window and then not eating within 16 hours. However, you can only do that several times per week, let's say 3 times per week. Whereas for men, it's okay to do that 6 or 7 times per week. Also, we're still going to have the same basic recommendations of focusing on foods that are rich in proteins and healthy fats and lower in carbohydrates. Other than that, all the other recommendations would essentially remain the same. Start for an 8-hour window and try it twice your first week. If you are, let's say, have a significant amount of weight that you're trying to lose, and maybe you have high blood sugar and getting into an 8-hour window is going to be a challenge, that's totally okay. Again, let's say that you're starting with a 12-hour eating window, knock that down 1 hour at a time each week until you get to that 8 hours, but only do that 2 or 3 days per week. It's going to be less stressful on your nervous system, and you'll deal with that a lot better. So here's an example, again, of a recommended schedule that you can use with the caveat that you're only going to be going into intermittent fasting 2 or 3 times per week. Now, some people like to go into a 24-hour fast. That's not my thing personally, but some people might want to just fast 1 day per week, 24 hours, get it over with, and that's totally okay. So there are many ways to implement intermittent fasting into your daily routine. There's lots of information available, and these have just been a few recommendations. But it is a very, very important tool and has enormous benefits in terms of extending lifespan. So that's why we spend some time looking at it. Now, what can you eat during these periods of time? Well, let's say as an example, again, we're going to be focusing on foods that are rich in protein and healthy fats. Some of you I know are vegans or vegetarians, so you may want to look at a more complex combination of different foods so that you're getting all of your essential amino acids, and a healthcare practitioner can help you out with that. But basically, any proteins are going to be fine. Eggs are generally regarded as a superior form of protein, and if you're going to consume eggs, consume both the yolk and the whites. You want to have the whole egg because that's where all of your nutrition is going to be. And as a matter of fact, you're going to digest the protein better when you have the complete egg. Also keep in mind this thing called mTOR. This, which is a separate subject. You have to really dig through the literature to find this. But sometimes people will not get results in building lean muscle because they're not consuming enough protein. This is really seen very, very clearly with people that are interested in bodybuilding or in professional sports, is that they're simply not eating enough to build lean muscle. But there's a trick here that we should talk about because let's say that you're over the age of 40, your ability to build lean muscle declines with age, but the good news is that there's something that you can do about that, and I'm going to tell you about that now. It has to do with this thing called mTOR. So let's use an example. You go to the gym, you exercise, and you're eating and you think you're eating healthy, and you do this for a period of time, but you don't see your body changing. What's going on here? And your body was responding when you were younger, maybe to the same program, but it's not responding now. Well, what we want to do after exercise is recover, fuel our body with protein and healthy fat, and the goal is we want to trigger muscle protein synthesis. In other words, from exercise, we're breaking down muscle tissue and causing micro tears, and we want to repair that muscle so the muscle can get bigger and stronger. But in order to do this, we need a sufficient amount of the branched chain amino acids. This is leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Leucine in particular is the amino acid that is the main trigger for turning on development of new muscle tissue. And when we're younger, about 2.5 grams of leucine will do it. As we age, the amount of leucine that we need to trigger muscle protein synthesis goes up. Meaning, let's say that you took a protein shake that had 12 grams of soy protein. Well, there's not enough leucine in that 12-gram serving to turn on mTOR and trigger your body to build new lean muscle. And this is where a lot of people fail and they don't realize it. This is one of the reasons why whey protein, as an example, is a superior protein because it is high in the branched chain amino acids. So for those of you that are vegans or vegetarians, to remedy this, you could simply get a BCAA supplement. That'll have at least 2.5 grams of the amino acid leucine. You might want to take a little bit more. And now you have what you need to start building that lean muscle. Same is going to be true for dinner, so we don't have to cover that in any more degree of information. But again, we want to focus on having foods that are rich in protein, healthy fats, and if you want to introduce carbohydrates into your daily routine, this would be the place to do it in the evening. Now let's move on a little bit and talk about exercise. And again, I really want to emphasize here that you should consult with your healthcare practitioner first to make sure that what you're doing meets your own personal needs. Men and women are going to be different. People in different age groups are going to have different needs and requirements. So you really want to make sure that what you're doing is right for your body. Protect yourself and your health first. And if you haven't exercised in a long period of time, make sure that you go into this gradually to avoid any type of injury. I also want to bring up the subject of mindset, because your ability to succeed in this program is completely up to your mental attitude and your mindset. Many of you don't like exercise. That's okay. I get that. But I want to pass on a secret that I have used that has worked for me, and I think it's going to help you as well. And I started doing this practice because a number of years ago, I wanted to get into some very intense exercise. It was a challenge that I wanted to put myself through, and I was spending 60 to 90 minutes a day, 6 days a week in the gym. And I found to keep myself motivated, I would pray. Just prior to exercise, I would stop and say a prayer of thanks. And I would say, thank you, God, for giving me this time that I can be here. Please don't let the time pass too quickly, because I want to enjoy every moment of this exercise that is transforming my body. And I got some amazing results with that. And I think what you'll find is that this makes the process enjoyable. And after a few weeks, you start to really see the benefits as your body builds in strength and stamina. So by shifting your mindset, you can transform this process into something that's enjoyable. And of course, you're going to reap all of the rewards for your health. Now, some of you might prefer to exercise in the morning, others later in the afternoon or the evening. Again, customize this into something that's going to work for you. We already talked about before about how important it is to start off the day with at least 1 glass of water so we can begin the process of detoxification and getting your body to use fat for energy. Well, another thing that we can do in the morning is start off the day with exercise. And while I wouldn't say it's technically an exercise to transform the body, if you haven't exercised in a while, start walking. If you go and do intense exercise and you haven't exercised in a while, other than the obvious thing that could occur of you getting injured, it's going to be very disruptive to your nervous system. In other words, all of a sudden, you're dealing with something that you haven't dealt with in a long time, the body goes into stress, and you might actually gain weight. So we want to avoid this. So to start you back in a direction, begin to walk. Pick a few days a week, 3, 4, 5 days a week, where you're going to walk at a modest pace for about 20 minutes. You could do this for the first month, and this gets you back in the groove of getting your body moving. You'll feel good, and then you'll start to adapt your body to the process of moving and wanting to exercise. So this would be a great way to start if you hadn't exercised for a while. Now, something that I really enjoy doing in the mornings are Tabatas. And this is 4 minutes of exercise. And the great thing about this is that it's been shown if you do this properly, it can be the equivalent of exercising for 45 minutes. So I know that most of you are very busy building your LifeWave business, whether or not you're working full-time or part-time. We're busy with our family and friends. There's all types of commitments. So this is a wonderful way to start off your day the right way. You're going to feel great, and it only takes 4 minutes. So what's a Tabata? You can download a free app, put it on your phone, and that's a great way to do this. So first of all, a Tabata is where you exercise as hard as you can for 20 seconds, and then you rest for 10 seconds. There's only 8 sets. So if you were to just start out with this, you could pick something easy, relatively speaking, like jumping jacks. And so you would do jumping jacks for 20 seconds, rest for 20 seconds, and then repeat. And then after 4 minutes, you're done. Many of you will want to do 2 Tabatas. I've done as many as 4 or 5 Tabatas in the morning, but just for getting started, just doing 1 Tabata gets you going in the right direction. You can certainly incorporate other exercises that are more challenging, like mountain climbers and burpees. But if you've never done Tabatas before, I would start off with something simple, like jumping jacks or running in place. And you'll find, after a very short period of time, even just your first week of doing that, that you have more energy and stamina. Now, let's say that you're going to do that in the morning. You're going to have a quick 4-minute workout. You're going to need to do some resistance training. So the idea here is we need time to do our cardio for the health of our heart, but we also want to build lean muscle. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be setting out to be a competitive athlete or a bodybuilder, but if we want to reshape our body, we do need to do some modest resistance training several days per week. Now, it's also important from the point of view of longevity. And that's ultimately our goal, is that we want to live as long as possible and stay as young as possible in the process. That's a great way to summarize who LifeWave is as a company. And when we do things like intermittent fasting and we're optimizing our hormones, we're telling our body to stay younger. We're turning on genes that are associated with health and longevity. The same is true with exercise. You already know if you don't exercise regularly, that muscle falls off your body because your body doesn't need it anymore and your body is geared to survival. So when we exercise, it is well shown now and documented that we turn on genes that are associated with longevity. So in addition to the benefits of keeping us healthy and strong, maintaining our stamina, maintaining our bone density, helping to support mental cognition, exercise is also going to support our health and longevity. And we want to do resistance training to build muscle. Some of you may prefer to do body weight exercises like air squats and push-ups. Others may prefer to use resistance bands, and still others may prefer to do some type of weight training. Whatever you decide to do is fine. If you're already in an exercise schedule, I'd say continue doing that. Or you may want to try something I'm going to recommend. But if you're just getting started, just try 15 minutes of body weight exercises 3 days per week. And that will get you going in the right direction. So an example, what would be body weight exercises? Well, we want to build both our upper and our lower body. So as an example, you could do air squats and shoot for 10 to 30 repetitions of 3 sets, rest a minute, and then do a push-up or a modified push-up, 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps. As a starting point for those of you that haven't exercised in a while, something like that would be perfectly fine. And I bet you're probably going to be sore the next day because you haven't done it in a while. But embrace the soreness, because when you're sore, that's when you're building new lean muscle. You can also go and increase the resistance. There's a phenomena called progressive overload. And this is a well-known phenomena for building muscle, meaning each time that you go into the gym, the goal should be that you do a little bit more in your next routine than you did in your prior routine. So we could add more repetitions. If you're exercising with bands, you could do a band that had more resistance, or of course you can add more weight. And if you're not pressed for time, you could add additional exercises. These are all just some of the strategies that you could incorporate for progressive overload. But the basic concept here is that there is exercise that you're doing. Schedule it out to meet your own needs. I was only recommending the evening or late afternoon routine to fit into the example, but you don't strictly have to exercise in the afternoon. Just put it into your routine for whatever works for you. Now, there's some really interesting technology that has become very popular over the past number of years, and it is a way to reduce the amount of time that you spend exercising, and it's called blood flow restriction training. I would say this would be an advanced technique, but essentially these are bands that you put around your upper and lower body. What it will do is restrict blood flow. This allows you to increase production of growth hormone and keep your workouts to about 20 minutes and yet have phenomenal results with very, very low weight. So if you are in an advanced This wouldn't be for beginners. If you haven't checked out blood flow restriction training, I would say take a look at it. I have used it. I really enjoy the benefits, and maybe that'll be something you'll enjoy as well. So here would be a look at what a typical schedule could look like. Again, adjust this to your own needs, but I'd recommend after you wake up in the morning, do a quick 4-minute workout. Right after that, go ahead and consume half a liter to a full liter of water, following your eating schedule during the day. Maybe have a cup of coffee or a pre-workout before you exercise later in the day. And then, of course, right afterwards, have your post-workout meal, and now fuel your body with the protein and healthy fats that you need so that you can build lean muscle. Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about diet, nutrition, and exercise. What about the patches? Well, since you're putting in all of this effort to transform your body, you want to take advantage of technology that can help you get results that you normally couldn't before. And this is where X39 and X49 come in. You're going to be using X39 the way that you have been, meaning you can apply it behind the neck or below the belly button. With X49, an optimal place to apply it would be below the belly button, but you certainly could apply it behind the neck or anywhere along the midline of the body. Some people, if you've got some low back pain, you might want to place X49 at the lower back. So, but the idea here is that we're going to be using X39 to activate stem cells and improve your rate of recovery. X49 is going to activate satellite stem cells, and this is going to, the peptide AHKCU, which is elevated by X49, is principally found in the muscle, in the heart, and in the brain. And what our clinical studies have shown is that this mobilizes the muscle tissue, and now what we can do is recover from exercise more quickly. So you'll notice even within the first week of using X49 that you're gaining in strength and stamina, and even after the first month, you'll see reductions in body fat. So that's exciting. Now, since we're talking about our clinical study with X49, what would some of the benefits be? Even people that are over the age of 70 were able to recapture strength and stamina that they had lost to the passage of time with X49. Important thing here is that you have to exercise. So the people that were in this clinical study were on a regular program of doing sit-ups, push-ups, air squats, bicep curls, and we did a grip strength test. And all of these parameters increased, as you can see, very, very dramatically over an 8-week period of time of using X49. What's also exciting is that when we combined X49 with X39, since that's what all of you are going to be doing, the benefits were even better, as you can see in this chart. So a good way to look at this is that X39 is going to improve overall health and vitality and wellness, and X49 is more laser focused when it comes to improving stamina and fitness. So what does the data show about body changing? Well, this is where it gets really exciting, because if you're going to go ahead and focus and really eat clean and healthy, and you're going to be exercising, you want to be rewarded with a change in your body composition, right? You want to look better and you want to feel better. And that's exactly what happened when we had participants use X49 during a 2-month period of time. What we also learned is that both X39 and X49 were building the body, but they do it differently. So again, X39 is more for overall health, and X49 is really more for athletic performance. The really interesting thing about this is that the people in our clinical study did not use any special type of diet. They weren't doing extreme exercising. They weren't using supplements, and they weren't using any type of fat burners, yet they built muscle and they reduced their body fat. So when we're going through recommendations on diet, nutrition, and exercise, this is all so you can optimize your results. But really exciting thing is that's not what we saw in the clinical study. People exercised and they still lost body fat and built muscle. So imagine what you can do with a diet and exercise program. So here's an example of what a change might look like. And I wanted to show you this gentleman who's age 74. We covered this in more detail in our November convention. But the point here is that even someone over the age of 70 was able to increase their strength, increase their muscle, and decrease their body fat. So no matter what your age, there's still a beneficial positive change that you can make in your body composition. Now let's talk a little bit about patch placements and what some of the options might be, and we have a chart here to help you out with this, and what type of patches would people want to be using in a body shaping program. Well, the basics, of course, are you start with X39 and X49, and as long as they're being placed on along the midline of the body, they're going to work. Now, many of you, like myself, may have been using energy enhancer patches for many, many years. I still use energy patches daily because they were our first patch and I love them, but they're optional. But if you do want to use them, you can simply apply them anywhere on the body as per the instructions. So you can apply them either on the lower torso or the upper torso, but the instructions that we provide, they'll work great with X39 and X49. If you are suffering with acute or chronic pain, first I hope that you would speak with your doctor before engaging in any type of diet, nutrition, or exercise program. But of course, you still can use LifeWave as per the directions with X39 and X49. Good way to use LifeWave for whole body pain relief is to simply apply them on the bottom of the feet as shown in our instructions, and you'll get some great results with that. Now, the Eon patch is interesting because if you're using X39 at the back of the neck and X49 below the belly button and you want to continue getting the benefits of Eon, what should you do? Well, I would recommend using the Eon patch in the evening. The reason is that Eon will sedate the nervous system, and this is really ideal for sleep. The other benefit, of course, with Eon is that it reduces inflammation. And so when people have injuries, we want to manage inflammation. That way the stem cells can go in and repair injury. So you could use a product like Eon in the evening. Glutathione is something that you can sub out during the day. You can use that again along the midline or the right side of the body. And SP6 is traditionally used either at the spleen 6 or the stomach 36 point as shown in our instructions. Silent nights can be used again, of course, in the evening, and you can use that with or without Eon. And I would say the same with Alavita. So generally, I would pick one of these patches to use in the evening. It's not completely necessary that you use all three, but if you wanted to experiment and combine, then you would use Silent Nights in Eon or Silent Nights in Eon or Alavida and Eon as effective combinations. And here we go with looking at our schedule again. And it's important, especially for those of you that may be new to LifeWave, that you're applying patches during the day, as shown in the chart. Then you would be removing those patches in the evening and then applying your evening patches. LifeWave patches, of course, work based on phototherapy. And we don't want to overstimulate the body, meaning you don't want to leave patches on for 18 or 24 hours. You can end up with a heat rash, or your body could simply stop responding to the patches. This is a phenomena in phototherapy known as attenuation. But basically, you want to apply your patches in the morning, remove them at night, and then apply your evening patches and remove them when you wake up. Now let's talk just for a few minutes about the subject of supplementation. And again, you want to consult with a nutritionist or your healthcare practitioner and get advice for what's going to work for you. So here's just some general guides. When you're engaging in a program to build muscle and reduce body fat, there are a number of supplements that are known to support muscle growth that are safe. One of them is creatine, specifically creatine monohydrate, and a dosage of 3 to 5 grams per day has been shown to help support the building of lean muscle by volumizing muscle tissue. Another supplement that I could recommend is beta-alanine. Now, beta-alanine is a precursor to carnosine, and carnosine is a mild anabolic which will buffer lactic acid and help in your recovery and strength and stamina. But it's also a precursor to the peptide that X49 makes, which is AHKCU. Both creatine and beta-alanine are very inexpensive and they're widely available. With beta-alanine, I might start with 1 gram. Some people take much more of that, but many people are very sensitive to beta-alanine and get a tingling sensation on their skin. So I would start with 1 gram and see how that works for you. You really don't need to take very much. And again, on the subject of protein, you want to make sure that you're getting at least 2.5 grams during a protein serving of leucine to turn on muscle protein synthesis. So either construct your meals so that you have adequate amounts of protein, or if you're going to have a protein shake, make sure it's got at least 2.5 grams of leucine in it. Other than that, in terms of general supplements, a vitamin mineral formula, so you're covering any deficiencies that may occur in your diet. Given that we are now continuing to deal with COVID, it is very, very well established that vitamin D can help to reduce severe effects from COVID-19. So continue to take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. Also, vitamin D is used to make hormones like testosterone. So you don't want to be deficient in your vitamin D. I'd also recommend as a very powerful antiviral, 12.5 milligrams of iodine. If you have a health concern with your thyroid, definitely consult with your medical doctor first before taking this supplement. I would definitely recommend taking real organic olive oil. Unfortunately, there's some fake olive oil that's on the market. So you can go online and order olive oil that's authentic. And the benefit to this is that it contributes to longevity, reduces inflammation, and it's going to help in your recovery. Not necessary, but it's a really great add-on and it's inexpensive. And you can also take 2 milligrams of copper daily. Copper is a very, very powerful antiviral. And of course, it's also used to support healthy levels of GHK and AHKCU as elevated by X39 and X49. So a few tips for success. We've covered a tremendous amount of information today. And what's really important here is that you create a written plan print that out, keep it with you, and follow it. You should customize a plan that's right for you using the information that's been provided here and getting any additional information from your healthcare provider. When it comes to exercise, one of the keys to success is to keep a logbook so that when you're going to exercise, let's say you're doing push-ups, how many push-ups did you do 2 days ago on your first, second, and third set? You don't want to leave this up to memory. You want to be able to look to your logbook and then keep a journal and write all this down. And remember, each time that you exercise, you want to do a little bit more on your current routine than you did in your prior. This is progressive overload, and it will help drive you towards success. I would also recommend using your smartphone and setting a timer so that if you want to have a certain amount of water each day, set your timer for that time in your schedule when you're going to be drinking the water so you don't have to depend on your memory, and you could say, okay, this is when I'm going to have my water or my green tea or my first meal of the day. When it comes to exercise, again, start slow. If you haven't exercised in a while, you can start with something as simple as walking or jumping jacks. Speak with your healthcare practitioner first and make sure that you're getting into this gradually. And for those of you that have been exercising for some time, please continue to do what you're doing, and you're going to love the results that you get with X49. When it comes to the subject of intermittent fasting or eating healthy, please set one meal or one day per week where you're going to have a cheat meal or a cheat day, and that's totally okay. You may decide that 6 days a week you're going to be doing low carb, but on that 7th day, you're going to have whatever type of carbohydrates you want to have, and that is totally okay. I remember seeing Sylvester Stallone in an interview, and he said that he would have no carbohydrates 5 days a week, but then 2 days a week he would eat whatever he wanted to, and he was doing this during the Rocky and Rambo movies when he looked amazing. So yeah, even if you have a cheat day 1 or 2 days a week, it is not going to throw off your results, and it'll be mentally rewarding. Here, once again, is a summary of a sample plan, and please create your own plan, customize it to your own needs. And this was intended to help get you started, and I hope that you found this information useful. So, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your time, and as well as wish you tremendous success. You know, it's incredibly rewarding when you set health and fitness goals for yourself and you achieve them. A number of years ago, I set a goal for myself on doing push-ups. And I wanted to go see what I was capable of when I turned 50. So I entered a push-up challenge, and I surprised myself and did 402 push-ups in only 28 minutes. And the moral to the story is that you are capable of more than you think you are. You can do this. You can get in the best shape of your life regardless of what age you are at. You can feel great, and you can recapture what you lost to time and have some of that youth back again. So good luck, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your success story.
My goodness, every time I hear David speak, I get even more inspired. I have never met someone like David who knows so much about the human body and has the genius that he has used to leverage the natural abilities of our body to support optimal function and longevity. What a blessing it is to be part of what David is creating with us. It's truly an honor. Another thing I love about LifeWave and David is the solid commitment to data and real science. Knowing that everything LifeWave says about our technology is backed up by quality research, patents, and professional expertise is so comforting and really unique. So today we have the pleasure of hearing from two incredible doctors that David works closely with on many of our research studies and product launch preparation efforts. Dr. Melinda Connor and her daughter, Dr. Caitlin Connor, both have impressive backgrounds. Between the two of them, they have extensive experience in education in so many areas, which include, but are not limited to, clinical psychology, neuropsychology, integrative medicine, health science research, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncture. We are thrilled that they'll be able to talk with us today, and you'll be able to hear directly from the two of them about the science and the research associated with X39 and X49. Enjoy!